Greetings, greetings, mighty companions. Anna Kujawa here, and this is a Course in Miracles class. I am teaching a Course in Miracles class, and so this is a Course in Miracles, Anna Kujawa, and I am teaching out of the most recent edition of A Course in Miracles, called A Course in Miracles, the Complete and Annotated Edition. This is the latest edition of A Course in Miracles, and I consider it the most original because it contains 45,000 of words of the original channelings that were left out of the first two editions of A Course in Miracles. So if you are somebody who has been studying A Course in Miracles for many years, then here is an edition of A Course in Miracles that contains lots of new and exciting and startling and challenging material that you may not have heard before. And speaking of startling and challenging material, tonight's session may be very interesting. I titled this section More Notes on Sex, the Body, and Real Relating, because it goes into the purpose of the original purpose of the body, the original purpose of sex, what is the real purpose of it, what is the higher purpose of the body, and relating through sex and miracles, and what occurs when we misuse it. So which you should recognize really well. All right, so where I'm at this evening is I am in Chapter 1, Section 1, the Principles of Miracles. And remember, I'm in this edition of A Course in Miracles, and it's called the Complete and Annotated Edition. So I'm going to be reading out of this. So Chapter 1, Section 1, we are starting at Miracle Principle number 43, Note number 9. So if you have the book, look through and find it, and if not, then just listen along. So, and I appreciate you guys being here. So happy that you're here to help me with this section tonight. I want you to pray for me tonight and send me your good energy and your support as I tackle this material that is daunting. This is new material. The first two editions of A Course in Miracles do not say anything about sex. This section, this edition, has a lot to say about it. And interesting enough, it has the most to say about sex in the first section of the first chapter of the book. So that tells me that the voice of the Course really wanted to get that topic cleared. It wanted to put it in correct perspective right off the bat. Apparently, the voice of the Course knows that we have been using our bodies and sex and relationships based on the body as major perceptual distortions, that we've been using our bodies for ego purposes that have been keeping us asleep and keeping us from fulfilling our divine purpose, our real purpose for being here, which is using the body that spirit might create through it, that spirit might extend love to the world through the body. We have made the body the goal, the end, instead of an instrument for extending love. And so we have identified ourselves with the body, seen ourselves as a body, seen the experience of the body, the pleasure of the body, the possessions of the body as the goal. And so we have misinterpreted the body. And A Course in Miracles says that when you make the body or something the body does or gets or has, the goal, when you make that the end, as if something the body could do or have is what would make you feel happy. It says when you have done that, you have forgotten the purpose of the body. You've made the body the goal, the end, and you can't help but be angry with the body, disappointed with the when you believe that it's something of the body that gives you happiness. Well, you can't help but be disappointed, because that's not where happiness comes from. And then we attack the body because we're upset with the body, and then that's where the body becomes sick. So I can see why the voice of the Course wanted to get this particular thing out of the way immediately. Chapter 1, Section 1. All right. Okay. So, hello, Noliko. Good to see you. Diana, Kimberly, Leanne. Hi, Leanne. Teresa, and James. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, you guys. I appreciate that. Now, here we go. So we are Miracle Principle number 43, note number 9. It says, all actions which stem from reversed thinking, which is twisted thinking, which is backward thinking, those actions are literally the behavioral expressions of those who know not what they do. All right. So when somebody is acting insane and their behavior is insane, it is coming, according to A Course in Miracles, from reversed thinking, meaning backwards thinking. So when your thinking is backwards, you think fear is love and love is fear. All the actions that then come from you are actions that literally stem from those who do not know what they do. So if there's anybody around you who has been acting in a way that is insane or dangerous, the thing to remember is the truth about that, the truth about their behavior or yours, is that this is the behavior of those who know not what they do. Remember that old phrase, forgive them for they know not what they do? When someone is acting insane, the way to perceive correctly the way to correctly perceive their insane behavior is to recognize that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know who they are, and so they don't know what they're doing. Now, that is the truth. And when you perceive like that, that is a correct perception, and that is the essence of forgiveness. So remember that about them, and also remember that about your behavior when you are not thinking lovingly or peacefully. All right, that's the end of forgiveness. You're innocent because you didn't know what you were doing. You need to forgive yourself because you don't know what you were doing, because you don't know who you were. You don't know who you are when you're not at peace and you're not loving. Now, then it says, actually, Jean Dixon was right in her emphasis on, quote, feet on the ground and fingertips in the heaven. I just love that quote. Now, it says Jean Dixon was one of the best known astrologers of the 20th century. And so this line here is a line that Jean Dixon used to repeat. And then it says, and what Jean Dixon said was, God wants our lives to be balanced, and mine is, said Jean Dixon. She said, I have my feet on the ground and my fingertips in the heavens. So, love it that the voice of the Course is quoting Jean Dixon, an astrologer from the 60s. And I love what it's saying is that in this quote, that Jean Dixon was saying that she believed God wanted her to have a balanced life. And then she says, a balanced life is where you have your feet on the ground and your fingertips in the heavens. And I love that definition of a balanced life. Okay, so that's what I would like to have too, a balanced life. Now, then it says, although Jean Dixon was too literal for some, many people knew exactly what she meant. So her statement was the right miracle for them. I submit that if a mind is in valid relationship with source, then that mind cannot be upside down. So what we're looking for is a balanced life and also a balanced consciousness. Now, then it says, many have lost sight of the end and are concentrating on the means. So just what I was saying earlier about many have lost sight of the real goal, which is true union, true relating, us to others and us to God. The goal here is right relating, or soul to soul, mind to mind, being in true communion, true communication with others and with source. According to Course in Miracles, that's the goal. Why is that the goal? Because that is your natural state. Your natural state is in a state of true communion, joining with others and with source. But it says many have lost sight of the real goal of true union, joining mind to mind, soul to soul, spirit to spirit with others and source, and are concentrating on the means. What's the means? The body. Okay, many have lost sight on the true goal of true relating, spirit to spirit, mind to mind, and they are concentrating on the means, which is the body. So remember the story about the artist who kept devoting himself to inventing better and better ways of sharpening pencils? Well, that artist never created anything, but that artist sure had the sharpest pencil in town. So what's the story that the author wants us to remember? Well, there was a story earlier in this section where it talks about this artist who just devoted himself to sharpening pencils every day, sharpening his pencils, sharpening his pencils, sharpening his pencils. And he was so focused on sharpening his pencils that he never created anything. Okay, and then it said, the author wants us to remember that story for some reason. And then it says here, the sexual language here is intentional. So the artist who spends all his time sharpening his pencils and never creates a picture, well, that is a metaphor, and also the sexual language there was intentional, says the author. I love that. How is that? Well, sex is often utilized on behalf of very similar errors. Okay, so sex is what? Often utilized on behalf of similar errors. What? Well, the artist who focuses all their time on sharpening their pencils, but never using the pencils for creating their masterpiece. Same thing with sex. Here we are focusing on the body, which is the instrument, focusing on the pencil, focusing on the body, focusing on sex, the pencil, instead of using the body for what it's really intended to do, which is to create a masterpiece. The purpose of the body is to be an instrument through which we create, through which we extend the love that we already are. Very often, sex has been misused in that we focus on the instrument and we stop at the body and we stop at sex, thinking, well, having the sharpest pencil in town, well, that's where it's at. Well, that's not creating, nor is stopping your mind and your purpose at the body and sex. That's also not where it's at. It's like having the sharpest pencils in town, but never creating your masterpiece. All right. Isn't it great to hear A Course in Miracles talk about sex? So unusual. All right. Okay. Wonderful to see you, everybody. Kimberly Smith. Kimberly Smith Candelaria. Awesome. Teresa. Wonderful. So don't forget, if you have any questions about what you hear, feel free to ask them. I can see your questions and I will try to answer them. All right. Okay. So here's everything you wanted to know about sex and A Course in Miracles, but were afraid to ask. Here it is. All right. So what has sex been too often utilized for is the error of focusing all your intention and your goal on the instrument of creation, which is the body or sex, and not using the body and using sex for the extension of the love that you are into the world, which is what heals the world. All right. Yes. Too often we've been using sex and the body to get the love that we don't have. And so then sex in the body becomes a source of grievances and pain. All right. Now, then it says sex is often utilized on behalf of very similar errors: hostility, triumph, vengeance, self-debasement, and all sorts of expressions of the lack of love are often very clearly seen in the accompanying fantasies. All right, so see if you recognize this. So when we are using sex and the body as the goal, as the happiness, as the goal, then all kinds of fantasies are then invested and associated with sex. Okay. And so what is it? It's like this. As soon as you have made sex the goal, the source, as soon as you've made the pencil the goal and the source as an artist, then here's what happens. All of a sudden, now all around sex in the body, you experience hostility, triumph, vengeance, self-debasement, and all sorts of expressions of the lack of love. All right? So those are the accompanying fantasies around sex that occur when we have made sex the goal or the end, the source of happiness or the source of love. Anybody recognize that? Okay, anybody? It says, Diane says, too often the sex is a substitute for joining in love. Exactly. Instead of using the body for the extension of the mind to other minds in the love that we already are, then we use sex as a substitute for that. And then all of a sudden, now all these fantasies of vengeance, self-debasement, triumph, and all sorts of expressions of lack of love come along with it. All right. So, anybody out there ever experienced fantasies of vengeance, triumph, self-debasement, or lack of love associated with sex? Anybody? All right. Me. All right. Okay. So, then it says, but it is a profound error to imagine that just because these fantasies of triumph and vengeance and hostility around sex are so frequent or occur so frequently that implies validity. In other words, you can be wholly reliable or wholly consistent, but entirely wrong. Just because those fantasies of vengeance, hostility, and triumph and self-debasement occur so consistently around sex doesn't mean that it's true. You can be completely consistent. These fantasies can be completely consistent, but entirely wrong. All right. So just because we have invested sex with all these fantasies of hostility and a triumph and vengeance doesn't mean that sex is the source of hostility, triumph, and vengeance. All right. Good to know. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a breath. I'm just not used to talking about sex in the Course in Miracles class. So you guys pray for me. All right. Send me some good vibes. All right. Diana says, yeah, me too. All right. Billy says, no. I love it. Diana says, it gets very into the survival mind. That is so true. That is so true. All right. I gotta drink some water and I need a fan. Oh my. All right. Hey, y'all want to hear some more about sex in the Course in Miracles? Okay. All right. Notice how we spend so much of our energy around sex, the getting of it, the avoiding of it, the guilt around it, the desire around it, the fantasy around it, the shame around it, oh my God. But when it comes to hearing a new interpretation of it, it's very difficult to hear sometimes. So then it says this: intellect may be a displacement upward, but sex can be a displacement outward. Well, yeah, I can certainly see how displacement can be, that sex can be a displacement outward. What does that mean? Well, displacement is a psychological term, and displacement is a Freudian defense mechanism whereby the mind unconsciously redirects energy from an object seen as dangerous or unacceptable to a substitute object. In this case, a sense of real closeness with others is being displaced from the mind where it belongs to bodies, especially certain parts of the bodies. Okay, so that's what we're doing here relative to sex. We are displacing something of the mind. It says real closeness with others. Remember, that's the miracle. The goal and the miracle is real closeness with others. Okay, that's the goal. That's what we really yearn for in our heart of hearts. We think that sex will bring us closeness to others. Of Course in Miracles says that the desire of our hearts, our soul and our spirit is true closeness with others. But we have displaced the true closeness with others that we seek from our minds and our spirits to where it belongs, to bodies, and not just to bodies in general, but to certain parts of bodies. Thinking, believing that if I just experience pleasure through the body and through sex, that I'll experience the true closeness with others that I desire the most in my heart of hearts. Okay, does that make sense? All right. And since you can't experience true, genuine joining through the body, then when you go to experience true closeness with others through body and sex, and then you still don't feel connected, you still don't feel that joining, you still feel disconnected, empty and alone, that's when all the anger and the upset and the hostility and the vengeance and the rage and the self-debasement all gets projected onto sex and the body. All right. Okay. Hello, Irene. And hi, Jerry. I love it. Jerry says, joining late, but I finally got here. And greetings to you, my lovely teacher as well. All right. And so Greg says, I have given specialness to certain members of my body over other parts of my body. All right. All right. And Seabreeze, totally addicted. Yeah, sabotaged it, created an ending, great sex yesterday, but today disengaging actions in my mind, which removed out from existence as if it never happened. Exactly. It's the perfect class for you to be seeing today. How perfect. See how much spirit loves you and is in charge. You know, it knows exactly what's going on. And hello, Holly Kruger. Welcome. All right. So, all right. So don't forget, you know, any questions or comments? Hi, little bees. You can't come in. See, it's Chloe again. She's always, you always got to be close to me when I'm teaching. All right. So here we go. Ready to hear more? Okay. All right. Then it says, so how can you, quote, come close to others through the parts of you which are really invisible? In other words, how can you experience true closeness with others through the parts of you which are really not part of you? Here's like, I want to experience true closeness with others, but I'm going to try to accomplish it with something that's not even me. How can you experience true closeness with others through something that's not even you? Okay, that's a question that this is asking. And so then it says, okay, so I'm going to skip that. Now, here we go. All right. Jerry says, no, I wish I were in the mountains. So it's so hot down. Yes. Okay. Alrighty. Here goes. The confusion of miracle impulses with sexual impulse is a major source of perceptual distortion. Okay. So what's going on here? We are confusing miracle impulses, which is an impulse to join mind to mind, and a desire to join mind to mind, spirit to spirit, soul to soul with others so that we can experience true closeness to others. That's the miracle impulse. I want to know that I am one. I want to experience and express the oneness here, because that's where the true pleasure, that's where true love, true pleasure really comes from. Course in Miracles says true pleasure, real pleasure comes from doing love's will. What is love's will? Love's will is that we recognize that we are one, that we are not separate. So, in other words, when you experience the true joining of mind to mind and spirit to spirit and soul to soul, that's when you experience real pleasure and real love and real joy. Real love, real pleasure, real joy that does not turn to pain. Okay, if you're experiencing a pleasure that very shortly thereafter turns to pain, well, Course in Miracles says that wasn't real joining, it wasn't real pleasure, and it wasn't real love, because real joining doesn't turn to pain in a few minutes after you're done with the physical pleasure. All right, so he says here that we are confusing miracle impulses to join mind to mind, spirit to spirit, soul to soul, with sexual impulses. Okay, so we're having a confusion going on. So it goes something like this. I have a desire to experience true closeness with this other person. I have a desire to know that we are one. I have a desire to experience the fact that we are one. But it gets distorted, confused, and it comes out as a sexual impulse. Okay, and of course, as we're confusing miracle-minded impulses with sexual impulses. All right, yes, I have been confused like that before. How about you? Well, Diana says, this is very important and timely because there's some disturbance in a spiritual community I am in because a leader has been inappropriate sexually behind the scenes, so there's many grievances coming. Indeed, yes. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, that's a that's a very common story, Diana, and it happens because of this confusion between miracle impulses and sexual impulses. It's a major source of perceptual distortion. It's a very major and common. So, yes. So thank you for sharing that, Diana. I think many of us have experienced that as well. So, yes. Okay. So then it says the reason that confusion of miracle impulse with sexual impulse is a major source of perceptual distortion is because that confusion induces rather than straightens out the basic level confusion which underlies all those who seek happiness with the instruments of the world. Okay, so what's the confusion between miracle impulses and sex impulses? It's this. It is a confusion which underlies all of us who are seeking happiness with the instruments of the world. What's the instrument of the world? The body, sex. Okay, so whenever you are seeking happiness or love or joining or communion through a body, from a body and what bodies do or what bodies get, then you are going to, you're confusing miracle impulses with sex impulses, thinking that you can experience true love, true joining, true peace, true pleasure through something of the body. So, and then I'm gonna read a note here. It says, confusing the impulse to join minds, which is the miracle impulse, with the impulse to join bodies, which is the sexual impulse, reinforces the more basic confusion of the level of mind spirit with the level of body. When you are confusing the level of spirit and mind and the level of the body, in that confusion we see happiness, which is of the mind, as coming from the instruments of the physical world. This is like thinking that water can be found in a barren desert. Wow. I love it. It says, in this confusion, we see happiness, which is of the mind. So that's an important point. Happiness is of the mind. Happiness is of the mind. Love is of the mind and the spirit. Love is of the mind and of the spirit. Okay, now, thinking that you can experience happiness and love through something of the world like the body or sex, well, you are confusing your mind and your spirit with your body, thinking that your body can experience union and love and true pleasure. So don't forget that. That's important, that in your search for happiness and your search for love and your desire for love and your desire for joining, remember that happiness and love is of the mind and your spirit. And if you are confusing your mind with your body, you're going to be seeking for the love through the body. And when you seek for the love and the joining and the pleasure through the body, and what you get is a little bit of pleasure, and then you pay for it in kinds of suffering, meaning you experience a lot of pain and hostility and fantasies of vengeance afterward. Now you know what happened. You experience anger and hostility because you're looking for water in a desert. That's why you get so angry and feel so hurt. Because if you were like thinking you were going to experience love and joy and peace and happiness through doing something with another person's body, or through their body acting a certain way, then you were going to be so sad and angry and hostile and full of fantasies of vengeance, because you were looking for water in a desert. You were looking for love and joining where it can't be found. And so all you're going to be finding instead is pain and anger. So If you are experiencing any of those things right now, now you know why. It is not that love betrayed you. It is not that the other person betrayed you. It is not that you betrayed them. Um, your body didn't betray you. Their body didn't betray you. They didn't betray you. What happened was that you were looking for love in all the wrong places. So it's not that love hurts, or that there is no love. It's just that you were looking in the wrong place. So it really should be a hopeful note. And it's this. It's not that there is no love, or love hurts, and screw love, it's just that you weren't looking in the right place, which should give you hope, because that means if you want to experience real happiness and real love and real communion, you've got to look somewhere else, which is in your mind and in your spirit, and the extension of your mind and your spirit to join with other minds and spirits who are like yourself, only love. All right. So Diane says, yes, that's very helpful and hopeful. Seabree says, we know this, yet off we go into the desert skipping. Yes, with a bucket, thinking, oh, the reason I didn't find water yet was because I just didn't look under the right cactus. Yes, and the sexual reference there is intentional also. So yes, that is it. We keep skipping back into the desert thinking, oh, I didn't find water there because I just didn't look in the right cactus. Oh, that cactus. That's right. Exactly. All right. So anybody out there been looking for love, looking for water in the desert? And then filled with fantasies of vengeance and hostility and self-debasement? Me. All right, here we go. Greg says, I'm a sucker for a good cowboy song. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Yes, indeed. Jerry says, we think we need more sex because a deeper longing to join that goes beyond that can't be fulfilled. Exactly, Jerry. That's exactly right. We're thinking we need more sex. We're thinking we need more bodies. But what we're really seeking is a true communion, true joining, mind to mind, spirit to spirit, that can't be fulfilled through the body. Now we can stop hating ourselves. We can stop debasing ourselves when we don't experience that happiness and peace and love and joy and certainty of value through the physical joining. We can stop debasing ourselves just because we didn't find love in that way, and we can stop also having fantasies of vengeance and hostility toward others when we didn't find that love and that certainty of value that we were trying to get through the body. We have been trying to get love from the body. That is us stopping at the means, stopping at the instruments, just like the artist who all he does is sharpen his pencils. He never creates his masterpiece. And that's what we've been doing with the bodies, and that's what we've been doing with sex. So, isn't that interesting that that there's all this material on sex and the body in chapter 1, section 1 of A Course in Miracles, this edition. What that tells me is that the scribe, Helen Schuckman, and her partner, Bill Thetford, they had some confusion around miracle impulses and sexual impulses. They had some perceptual distortions going on in their minds about the body and sex. And the voice of the Course, the author, wanted to clear that up and get it out of the way so it could get on. It's like, we've got to stop our minds we've got to stop stopping our minds at the body, thinking that the body is the goal. Oh, if I just had the right body, if I just had the right person, oh, if I just had the right thing for my body, if my body just had enough of this, and my body had the right this. Happiness we have had such profound, we've been making a profound error in believing that happiness is of the body. It's of something the body can do, something the body can get, somebody you can do, somebody you can get, something for your body, something your body can possess. That has been our major perceptual distortion, our major error that has been keeping us from experiencing the love and the happiness that lasts. That lasts. And so the voice of the Course is like, we're going to get this cleared up right off the bat. And then we'll go beyond that. All right. So it says you can do, remember it said a desert is a desert is a desert. And this seems to be a reference, that the voice of the Course, it seems to be a reference from the famous quotation from Gertrude Stein, which goes something like this: a rose is a rose is a rose, from her 1913 poem, Sacred Emily. I love it. I love how the voice of the Course uses references from all kinds of things. Freud and literature and psychology and the Old Testament and the New Testament and popular culture. It's amazing. I love it. And that all these references that the author was using were left out of the first two editions. So, all right. So remember, we've been trying to find water on a desert, which means we've been trying to find happiness and love and pleasure through the body, through sex. And that's why we have come up thirsty. And it says, but remember, a desert is a desert. In other words, you can do anything you want in a desert, but you cannot change the desert from what it is. A desert still lacks water, which is why it is a desert. And the thing to do with a desert is to leave the desert. I love that. So it's just reminding us that if you're seeking for happiness and love and union through the body of another, through sex or the body or whatever, anything related to the body, it's like you going to a desert and looking for water and being all pissed off and sad that you can't find water and thinking that the desert and God has betrayed you or abandoned you because there's no water in a desert. No. A desert is a desert. It's a desert because there is no water. And the only thing to do in a desert is to leave the desert. All right. All right. Okay. And Billy says, a desert ain't no dessert. Amen to that. I love it. Beautiful. Exactly. All right. That was the conclusion of Miracle Principle 43. Okay. That was half of one principle. Now Miracle Principle number 44. All right. How we doing? All right. How are you guys doing out there? I so appreciate you guys sharing this, this experience, this healing circle with me and all the others. So remember, whenever any of us, whenever two or more are gathered to listen to these loving, healing ideas, we automatically create a healing circle. And that healing circle has a love gravity to it. And the more minds and spirits who join that healing circle, the more love gravity, the more healing gravity it has. And that healing gravity has the power to draw others into its gravity. It draws other, what the Course calls tortured minds, into this circle that they too might hear these ideas of love about themselves and be healed by them. So thank you for joining your energy to this healing circle and making its gravity heavier so that it draws more to it. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. All right. And then it says, Miracle Principle number 44. Hi, Chloe. All right. It says, miracles arise from a miraculous state of mind. And this miraculous state of mind goes out to anyone and everyone, even without the awareness of you, the miracle worker yourself. Beautiful. So miracles they arise when you have miracle mindedness. Isn't that beautiful? And when you have miracle mindedness, then miracles just come from you even without your awareness or intention. Isn't that beautiful? So that's what we're going here for. A Course in Miracles is a curriculum that is assisting you in experiencing a miraculous state of mind. A state of mind that produces miracles even without your awareness. Isn't that beautiful? When you are in a state of mind, of course, called right-mindedness, when you're in a perception, in a state of mind where you know love is real and fear is not, then you are experiencing miracle mindedness. And all you have to do to extend miracles out into the world is have a miracle state of mind, miracle mindedness. Isn't that beautiful? You don't have to know what to do. You don't have to be like, oh, now I got to go extend some miracles into the world. Hush, you come here. Hush up. And so it says this state of mind goes out to anyone and everyone, even without your awareness. I love that. So really, the Course in Miracles says your one responsibility as a miracle worker is to accept the truth for yourself. That's all you got to do. That's all you don't have to know how to heal the people around you. You don't have to know what they need and how to heal them and how to help them. And you don't have to gain some more skills to be able to better help and serve the world. You don't. All you have to do is accept the healing of your own mind. Accept miracle mindedness for yourself. And then miracles just flow from you, even to everybody or anybody without your awareness. And of course, it says that, it goes on to say, it says, I love that. All right. Now we're going to go to miracle principle number 45. All right. Jerry says, when your mind aligns with divine mind, the miracles are possible. Yes. And the miracles are natural. You don't have to do anything. So I love it. When you are feeling like you don't know what to do, or you're feeling pressure, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what to do to help this person right here. When you are feeling that way, just remember your one responsibility in this situation where somebody in your presence is calling for help is just to accept the truth for yourself. Remember the truth for yourself. Remember that you are not your body. Remember that you are only spirit. Remember that there is no guilt. Remember that you are innocent. Remember that the worst you could be doing right now is being mistaken, and that mistakes are not sins. You know, that's just examples of you remembering the truth for yourself when you're in the presence of somebody who's calling for help. You don't have to know what to do to help others. I just love that. I just love that. So no pressure. You know, to be a healer, a teacher, a miracle worker, has nothing to do with you going and getting skills that you don't already have. It just means remember the truth for yourself. Say nothing. Do nothing in that moment. Remember the truth for yourself, and then miracles will extend from your mind to whoever needs them and can accept them around you. And you don't even have to know. And as a matter of fact, every time you're experiencing miracle mindedness, you are invisibly extending miracles, and you have no idea where those miracles have gone, to whom they've gone, and how they have helped people. You have no idea, you know. So, but the only thing to know is that when I am healed, I am not healed alone. If I will just focus on remembering the truth for myself, then I am going to be helping whoever needs it, that spirit knows, spirit, you know, and spirit's in charge of that, and I'm helping. So, I love it. Irene says, you are not your body. You are not your guilt. You don't have to know what to do to help others. I love that. Accept miracle-mindedness for yourself. Jerry says, I am in a miracle state of mind. Right on. Me too. Your one responsibility as a healer and a teacher. And the Course in Miracles says, you know, that's all you have to do to be helpful in any situation where somebody is calling for help, is to just remember, I'm only here to be truly helpful. And what's the truth for myself? That's it. And then something helpful to others goes from you, even if you don't know it. And your miracle mindedness, your miracle state of mind is going out and helping people in ways that you have no idea about, that you'll never know about. Okay? But it's happening. I love that. All right, now we are... Hi, Terry. Terry James. Good to see you. Thank you for joining our healing circle. Now we are on miracle principle number 45. It's this. The miracle is an expression of an inner awareness of your real self, your higher self, your self as you were created by God, and then the acceptance of the correction, the healing correction of your higher mind. Okay, so what did that just say? It says, when you have an awareness that within you there is a healing love genius that's really you. Of course, says that within you is your real self, yourself that has remained exactly as it was created by God the moment that it was created. Startling. I mean, you're saying that still within my mind is the me that is enlightened and healed, that has remained as powerful and holy and sinless and, you know, limitless and eternal as it was the moment it was created. Yes, the Course refers that, the Course in Miracles refers to that as the Christ in you, your Christed self. So you have within you your real self, okay? The self you experience that's full of fear and self-doubt and anger and guilt, that's not the real you. That's your fake you. That's your fake self. That's the self you made up, that you thought you needed to make up to meet the world on the world's terms. And so this principle is saying that when you have an inner awareness of your higher mind, your higher self that is within you, and you accept its healing, its correction for your ego, for your fears, for your misperceptions, then what comes from you after that is a miracle. Okay, so it's an expression. So a miracle goes something like this: I hear that within me is my higher mind, myself that is a love genius, and I hear that it has all the answers for me that I need, that I might have peace and healing right now, and I accept it. Okay, I trust that I have a higher mind. I trust it has an answer for me right now that will bring me peace and healing, and I ask for it and I accept it. Now, what comes after that is a miracle. Okay, that's what a miracle is. Right. And hi, Steve. What the hell? LOL, that noise. Anyway, I don't, do you hear? There is thunder going on. Is that what you're hearing? Interesting. All right. And Carol Haley, welcome. Thank you for joining our healing circle. Okay, so it says when you have acknowledged that there is a higher mind, your real self within you, and it has the answers for the peace you need right now, then your mind is in a state of grace. Wow. That's how you get your mind into a state of grace. And when your mind is in a state of grace, then your mind naturally becomes gracious. And your mind becomes naturally gracious to the host within, that's your higher mind, your higher self, and to the stranger without. By bringing in the stranger without, the person you see out there, then that stranger becomes your brother or your sister. All right, how beautiful is that? And it says, okay, so it says, the miracle of healing is to bring those who are estranged from each other together, because when we're estranged from each other, we're estranged from God. I love it. So it just told us how to experience being in a state of grace. Would you like to have an experience where your mind is in a state of grace? All right. Well, when you acknowledge that within you is your higher mind, your true self, that knows all the answers, that has the ability to correct your mistakes and bring you back to peace, that is when your mind is in a state of grace. And when your mind is in a state of grace, here's what happens. When your mind is in a state of grace, your mind naturally becomes gracious. And what does it mean that your mind becomes naturally, meaning effortlessly gracious? Well, when your mind is being naturally, effortlessly gracious, you are welcoming the host within, and you are also welcoming the stranger without. So you're saying you're welcoming spirit within, and you're turning to the so-called stranger without and welcoming them within you. How beautiful. And that is a miracle, because a miracle is a healing. And a healing is when those who are estranged, you and the so-called strangers without, when you bring together so-called strangers that had been estranged, that's a healing. That is a healing. Because when we are estranged from each other, we're estranged from God. When we don't know that that's our brother and that's our sister and that's a part of us and they're a part of us, when you don't know that those around you are a part of you, a part of you that is just as crucial to your being as you are, when you don't know that, then the people around you in your world, they're strangers to you. And if you feel like you're in a world of strangers, then you are a stranger to God. And it says, so a miracle is a healing where those who are related, brothers and sisters who have been estranged, come together. It is a healing. So I don't know if the thunderstorm is affecting the connection. It looks like it is. So I apologize if the connection is coming in and out, but that's why we're having an electrical storm out here. So all right. So if you are in any way, shape, or form feeling like a stranger in a strange land, like you're estranged from the people in your world, then you need healing, because you're going to feel lonely and alone. And if you're estranged, if you feel like the people around you are strangers, then you are also going to be feeling like you are a stranger to God. And that's going to result in loneliness and depression and fear and a belief that you're on your own, which is a belief that lack is real. And so it's saying that a miracle is a right thought that enables you to acknowledge your higher self within, your host within, and also to welcome the so-called stranger without. So, all right, so that's what a miracle is: an expression of an inner awareness of your real self, your true self, and the acceptance of its correction for your errors. All right, beautiful. Irene says, those around you are a part of you. If you feel you are in a world of strangers, you are a stranger to God. Yes. And Jerry says, I want to reconcile my estranged family members in my heavenly family. Beautiful, Jerry. Thank you, Greg, for letting me know it's doing okay. Good. Billy says, people are estranged if you are a stranger. Exactly. 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 Just like the song. Yeah, if you're a stranger to your real self within, then all you're going to experience around you are strangers. And if you don't know that everyone around you is your brother, your sister, part of your holy family, then you don't know you don't know God, which is the Father of our family, the family of God. And when you feel estranged, when you feel like you're a stranger to the people around you and you're a stranger to God, you need healing, because you are going to feel alone and on your own, and then you can't help but feel afraid. And you also can't help but believe that lack is real. So you need a healing. And the healing is the awareness that you're not a stranger to the host within you, your real self within you, and you're also not a stranger to those who seem to be outside of you, in other bodies. So that's our healing. All right. Yes. Now, I love it. And Irene says, a miracle is a right thought that enables you to welcome right hand, mind, and acceptance of errors of others. Yes, beautiful. I so appreciate y'all's feedback. It's wonderful. And Chloe does too. She's right here at my feet. I'm in my little recording studio, and she is crammed in here, of course. All right. So, then it says, the miracles you are told not to perform, the miracles you are told not to perform have not lost their value. Right. It says, the miracles you're told not to perform, they're still expressions of your own state of grace. I love that. This apparently refers to healing impulses that go out from your mind, but which you are told not to express behaviorally. Right. So, says, just because you may be told not to do anything behaviorally in a situation where somebody's calling for love doesn't mean that your right-mindedness is not helping them. All right. It says, but the action aspect of the miracle should be higher mind controlled because of higher mind's complete awareness of the whole plan. The impersonal nature of miracle mindedness ensures your own grace. All right. So, we're talking about miracles here, and what it's reminding us of is this, that when you are in a state of grace, when you are in right-mindedness, miracles will naturally be flowing from you without your awareness and without your effort. And if there are behavioral things to do to assist, to bring light, to bring peace to the situation, you will be told. That's a very important principle that we're being reminded of here. That yes, we are miracle workers, and that's our function. And when it's time for us to behaviorally do something, or behaviorally express that miracle, or physically express a miracle, it's telling us that your higher mind is going to tell you what to do. And if you haven't heard your higher mind say, do da 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 da, after you've gotten into right-mindedness, then you're not supposed to do it. Okay, so the behavioral expression of the miracle is supposed to be controlled by your higher mind, not you. Okay, what's your one responsibility in a situation where there's a call for help? It's this: for you to get into right-mindedness yourself, knowing that just doing that miracles are extending. That's it. That's your one responsibility. And to do nothing physically until your higher mind says, oh, go take them to the grocery store. Oh, go give them some money. Oh, go say such and such to them. So remember that. What does it say? It says the miracle, it says the behavioral aspect of it is supposed to be controlled by your higher mind. So don't forget that. All right, very important. And the reason that our teacher is telling us to don't put yourself in charge of what to do. Our teacher is saying this: your function as a healer, a teacher, a miracle worker is not to be deciding what to do to help others. Very important. Your responsibility is to go to miracle mindedness, where you remember the truth for yourself. Okay. Once you have a right mind, if you are supposed to do something behaviorally, physically, your higher mind will tell you so. And the reason that this is important is because our teacher in this section is telling us that if you start trying to decide what to do to help those around you, then you are going to experience miracle worker burnout, because that is not your job. And you are going to be wasting your energy and putting yourself under unnecessary strain. So if you are somebody who's a miracle worker, a healer, a teacher, and you feel burned out and you feel exhausted, it's because you're trying to do too much. You're trying to do something that's not your part. And when you only do physically what your higher mind tells you to do after you've applied the truth to yourself, then you can work miracles and you're not exhausted, and you're not you don't have miracle worker burnout, and you're not full of grievances. We have grievances because we decide what to do to help others around us before we've applied the truth to ourselves, before we've gotten ourselves into right-mindedness. We decide how to help others. We decide what they need. We decide what to do. And then what happens very often, they don't appreciate it. Because that's not what was supposed to happen. That's not what they needed. And then what happens? Then we have a grievance. I tried to help you. I did all that for you. I did this for you, and I did that for you. And yeah, you didn't ask for it, but I did all of that for you, and you didn't appreciate it. And then the person that we were trying to help, now we're attacking. And now we feel strain and we feel exhausted because we're trying to do what's not our part. We acted to do for them before our higher mind told us to do something. So it's a very, very important point for miracle workers. All right. Billy says, is miracle worker burnout relative to the ego teacher? Indeed. The ego, what the Course calls it, the ego teacher, the unhealed healer is one who decides first what people need, and what to do, and then does it before they have applied the truth to themselves, before they have gotten their own self into miracle mindedness. All right, that's what the unhealed healer does, and that's the that's the healer that's full of grievances and is exhausted. Okay, anybody relate to that? Ever been a healer, teacher, helper who is full of grievances and exhausted? Okay, that's why. All right. All right. And Patricia says, "Let it be." And then, hi, lovely boy, dear. What a great name. And then Irene says, wait to hear for instructions from your higher mind. Exactly. The one responsibility of the miracle worker is to accept the healing and the correction for themselves first. Okay. So in any situation where somebody seems to be in distress, calling for help, calling for love, what we're learning how to do as miracle workers is how to be an effective miracle worker, how to be effective in helping others. Oh my goodness, I have spent years wanting to help others, but being really ineffective at it because I am trying to help in my own way. In my own way. And of course, I'm going to say, you can't even correct yourself. Why are you going to spend that much energy trying to correct others? Your one responsibility is to accept the correction for your own state of mind. And then naturally and effortlessly, miracles will extend from your mind to those around you. And if there's something you should do, your higher mind will tell you. And only your higher mind knows who can use your miracles to help themselves. You don't know that. But your higher mind, there's something within you that does know. And only when you begin asking first, only then can you be an effective healer and teacher and helper. Hi, Stephen. Good to see you. Stephen says, when we are truly doing our miracle work and calling, we can extend and give all day long, and at the end of the day, feel completely energized and left with nothing but gratitude. Exactly. Exactly. Jerry says, yes, I get that big feeling miracle burnout a lot, and no more! Exclamation point. Irene says, apply the truth to yourself, miracle mindedness. Exactly. So beautiful. All right. So we're going to do a little bit more, and then we're going to do our integration meditation. Greg says, I know what nothing in this room means, and so I am not qualified to know what is the right course or wrong with another. Exactly. Exactly. Stop trying to help people in your own way. Really, that's not helpful. And the other people that you're trying to do that for, they don't think it's helpful either. You know, if you're trying to help people in your own way before you apply the truth to yourself, then the one that you were wanting to help, all of a sudden now you're attacking them. You didn't appreciate what I did for you. Yeah, but I didn't ask for that. Yeah, but still, right? So it's you know, we don't want to be miracle workers who are trying to help people and then we attack people that we're trying to help. That's an unhealed healer. Okay, so no more of that. Okay, beautiful. So it says miracle principle number 46. A miracle is never lost. That's because a miracle, which is an expression of your miracle mindedness. What's a miracle? It's an expression of your miracle mindedness. It may not take a physical form to your eyes. A miracle is never lost. A miracle, an expression of your miracle mindedness, touches many people you may not even know. And sometimes the expressions of your miracle mindedness produce undreamed of changes in forces of which you are not even aware. I love that. So beautiful. So anytime you are in a state of grace or a state of right-mindedness, then you better believe that something's coming through you that's beautiful, that's touching people that you may not even know, right? That's safe sex, okay? My loving extensions are going to people that I don't even know, all right? And what's coming from my state, my corrected state of mind, my right mindedness, what's coming from it is producing undreamed of changes and forces of which you are not even aware. And then it says, and that's not your concern. What comes from your right-mindedness and goes to heal and touch people and make changes that you'll never even know about, that is not your concern. What comes from your right-mindedness is not your concern. I love that. All you need to know is that that miracle will bless you. It will also bless you. That's all you need to know. So that's all you need to know. I don't need to be concerned about how my miracle's been received and how my love's been received and who received my love and who received that truth and who received my good efforts and what they do with it and how they use it, and did they know that was me? Did they use that miracle that I gave them? Did they use it? Did they know that came from me? Did they give me credit for that? Okay. That's not your concern at all. All you need to know is every time you are in right-mindedness, then you are going to be blessed by that miracle. That's all you need to know. And it says the fact that the miracle will always bless you, that's not your concern either. That's not your concern either, that it's going to bless you. You don't have to be like, ooh, this better be blessing me too. It says, but it is the concern of the record, which always measures what the record was supposed to measure. Very interesting. How very interesting. A Course in Miracles seems to be referencing the Akashic records. Okay, who knew? The record in this principle seems to be something like the Akashic records. The Akashic records are a library, that's the word we're going to use for it, containing every word, thought, and deed located on a non-physical plane of existence. And in this particular principle, it's saying that the Akashic records records the miracles you perform. The Akashic records records the miracles you perform. So it's not up to you to record the miracles. I did this miracle and I did that miracle, and then did you see that miracle? Did you get that miracle? Did you use that miracle I gave you? Do you remember all those miracles I gave you? Remember those miracles I did? It is not your concern to keep track of those miracles. You know why? It's saying here because the Akashic records will keep track of all those miracles. It will record all those miracles along with all of the specific effects that your miracles have on anyone, anywhere. Wow, that is so beautiful. So instead of being the unhealed healer who's always concerned about the effects of their miracles on other people, all you need to remember is that all of the miracles you perform and all the effects of those miracles on everyone, anywhere, they are being recorded in the records, the Akashic records. That's all you need to know. So, in other words, don't waste your time with that silliness. If you're thinking about the effects of the miracles you performed on anyone, everywhere, who got them, did they know they came from you, did they give you credit, did they record them, who all knows about all the miracles that I have performed, that is you not experiencing the effects of the miracles yourself. So that is a defense against experiencing the miracle yourself. Wow, I love that. And Rich says, yes, I am the dreamer of the dreams, so what they do is their dream. Amen. And Irene says, what comes from my right-mindedness is of no concern to me. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So, remember, this is, the name of this section is Principles of Miracles. So remember, as we go through this, and we're almost done with this section, that it's teaching us about miracles. Okay? This is a course in miracles. And so when you hear what it's saying in this section, it is teaching you about a course in miracles. This is the fundamentals of this curriculum. And what is this curriculum about? This curriculum is about you are a miracle worker. You are here to extend miracles. You are here to remember the truth about yourself and extend that love and extend that light effortlessly to the world of darkness, so that this world can become heaven instead of hell. So that's what this curriculum is about. You learning the truth about who and what you are, and then doing what you came here to do. Okay? You came here to remember who you are, and also then to be part of the healing of this dream. This is a nightmare that we are dreaming, and it is a dream of suffering where it seems like there's a whole world of beings and souls who are suffering, and you among them. And so you came here because you are suffering in the same way. And the only way to heal, bring healing to the planet, is for you to accept your own healing, and that healing will extend naturally and effortlessly to the world. And so when it talks about the principles of miracles, it's talking about you and why you're here, your job, your holy function, you, the miracle worker. Remember, A Course in Miracles says you are the light of the world. That is your function. That is why you are here. And these principles, you are learning what miracles are, how to work them, and how to not interfere. So that's what we're hearing about. All right. So it says this. It says, whenever all right. So okay, so it says, this is just the concern of the record, which always measures what it was supposed to measure. So don't be concerned about it. Now, I am going to stop here right now because the next principle starts with, I want to finish the instructions about sex. Okay, so that sounds like another big topic. So instead of starting that another big topic where it wants to finish the instructions about sex. Okay, well, that is what we will do next Wednesday. We will let our teacher and author finish the instructions about sex. Okay, does that sound like a good teaser for next week? Literally. So we're going to stop here at this point, and then we'll pick up next Wednesday at note number 3. So comments. Irene says, what a blessing to read chapter 1 with you, Anna. Thank you so much. I am a miracle worker here to remember the truth about myself, to extend to the world of darkness, to be part of the healing of the dream. Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Irene, and a mighty, mighty miracle worker for sure. I'm a witness to that. And Rich says, yes, we are here to choose purpose. Purpose equals forgiveness. Oh, good. I did not miss the part about sex. That's right. And if you wanted to hear the part about sex, that was this session began with sex, and now it's going to end with the sex teaser, and then it will pick up there next week, of course. So Rich, no, you didn't miss the part about sex. And yeah, and Greg says, yay, let's start next class with sex talk. Yes, sex talk with Anna. All right. Let's see what that does for my ratings. Sea Breeze says, bless the light. So very excited to see divine connection. Love to you all miracle workers. Amen to that. You too, Seabreeze. You are such a beautiful miracle worker as well, too. I'm a witness to the beauty and the power of your miracle working around the world. So keep it up. And Daniel M. Smith says, love the message, love the background. Right on. Thank you. I am in my little recording studio, which is a closet that I cleaned out and turned into a recording studio. So, all right. So now just announcements, and then we're going to do our integration meditation. And then we'll close up our session for today. So announcements. Announcement, my new book, New World Anthems and New World Prayers. New World Anthems and New Earth Prayers is available now on Amazon. You can go to Amazon.com, Amazon Books, and just put in my name, Anna Kujawa, and see this book. And this is a prayer manual. I have categories of problems at the beginning: family, body, health, money, all the problem categories that we all experience as humans. And under each category is prayers, poem prayers that I received and used to bring me back to right-mindedness when I was in hell about these variety of topics. And so it can be helpful for you too in that regard. So so that's available at Amazon.com. And and also I am a holistic psychotherapist, and my holistic counseling practice is called Miracle Psychotherapeutics. I am available to assist people in one-on-one sessions where we apply these ideas to whatever challenges that you're experiencing. So my purpose as a holistic counselor in Miracle Psychotherapeutics is to help people who are course students to learn how to better take these ideas to apply them, so that you are doing healing work according to how A Course in Miracles teaches us about how to heal ourselves. So if you're wanting and needing some healing, but you would like a counselor who is coming from this thought system, then I might be the one for you. So you can go to my website, annakujawa.com, and learn how to connect with me for a Miracle Psychotherapeutic session. All right. And Stephen says, yay, your book. I know, it's a miracle. And Irene says, Anna is an extraordinary holistic counselor. Thank you, Irene. And Rich says, yes, I gave those books to family as a gift and had some really lovely responses of appreciation that I was not expecting. One never knows how we are helping. Beautiful. Hello, Indira, my dear. My Indira, welcome. Awesome. So I appreciate you guys so much. You can find my classes and my readings on my Facebook page. You just go to my Facebook page and scroll. And so on YouTube and Facebook, I have readings where I just read the course to beautiful music with a beautiful background. And all of those readings are on YouTube. So you just go to YouTube, put in my name, and then you'll see my channel. And then there's readings and classes and meditations and things like that. And I highly recommend the Course in Miracles readings if you just need to hear some truth. If you are too insane to pick up the book and read, or you just need to be covered in the truth, you can just turn it on and just listen while you're taking a bath or driving or whatever. For me, it's my medicine cabinet. When I'm insane, I go put one of those on and I listen to the truth, and I let those ideas replace my insane thoughts, and it brings me back into right-mindedness, and I didn't have to do anything. So those are available on YouTube and also Facebook as well. So just know that those are all available on YouTube and Facebook. And Seabree says, such a soul. Amen. And Seabree says, best person for therapy. Right on. Thank you, dear. Thank you. All right. So now what we're going to do, I end all of my classes with an integration meditation where we put on some music and we take the ideas that we heard and we apply them to whatever is going on for you right now, any area of your life where you really need a healing or you really need some peace. All the purpose of my classes and my teaching is that it be practical, that we hear what it's saying and that we hear how to apply it and use it right now so that we can get the peace and the miracles that we are entitled to and that are available to us with just a change of mind like that. All it takes for a miracle of peace and abundance and healing and joy and love is a change of mind. And we know we can change our mind. And so we can have that miracle of peace and joy and healing in the blink of an eye because we know we can change our mind that fast. We do all day long. So if you are not driving heavy machinery at this time, go ahead and close your eyes and take a breath. Whew, and just breathe. All right, let's see here. Let's turn on some music. Where is the music? All right. Okay, here we go. I love it. The name of this tune is Aura Attunement. So, all right, so just close your eyes, take a breath, and just breathe and feel. What does it feel like to have heard these ideas? What does it feel like to have heard these ideas? And what does it feel like to have heard these ideas in a healing circle that we create when we come together? How do these ideas from A Course in Miracles feel in your mind, your spirit, your body, your emotional body? Take note of how listening to these ideas with others feels. Beautiful. All right. So it's saying that a miracle is an expression of an inner awareness of your higher mind, your true self, and the acceptance of its healing, its correction of your false ideas. So let's go ahead and try that. So let's go ahead and bring our awareness within us. Take your awareness and move it within, and acknowledge that your real self, your true self, lives within you. Ah, my real self lives within me now. My real self is within me. I can access it. I can acknowledge it. I even can accept its healing of me. So I acknowledge that my real self, my higher self, my healed self is within me and wants to heal me and knows exactly the answer to my problem, my conflict, my pain. So it goes like this. Higher mind, higher self within. I acknowledge that you are there. I acknowledge that you know the answer to this pain, this fear, this sickness. And I ask for it. I ask for your healing answer to my suffering, my pain. And I accept your plan for my healing. I accept your answer and breathe. Beautiful. Now I want you to bring to your awareness another situation in which you have been experiencing suffering or sorrow. And I also want you to bring to your awareness a situation or a relationship where someone else around you is not in their right mind. They are not in their right mind, and their behavior shows it. They're acting insane. They're not in their right mind, and their behavior is showing it. Beautiful. Now, in this situation or relationship, I want you for a moment to just focus on accepting the truth for yourself. In this situation, forget about focusing on how crazy their behavior is or how crazy they are right now. And just ask yourself, what is the truth about me right now? Ask your higher mind. Higher mind, how do I accept the truth for myself right now? Higher mind, how do I accept the truth for myself right now? Higher mind, what's the truth about myself right now? And then listen. Higher mind, what do you want me to remember about myself right now? You said my only responsibility is to accept the truth for myself right now. And that I don't need to know how to help them or what to do. And then ask your higher mind if there's something that your higher mind wants you to do to help this person. Higher mind, is there something you want me to do to help them? And then listen. Beautiful. Beautiful. And now, in any way, shape, or form, well, and in this situation where you are not experiencing peace with another, any relationship right now in your experience where you have been experiencing fantasies of self-debasement, fantasies of hostility, or fantasies of anger, I want you to take note of how in this relationship you were focusing on getting happiness or love through a body, through what your bodies were doing together. Take note of how you were looking for happiness, love, and union through the body. You took your awareness and you stopped it at the body. And take note of how make a connection between that and all the experiences of hostility, fantasies of triumph, fantasies of vengeance and self-debasement came about. You were trying to get love and union and worth and value in the body of another. Now, go ahead and remember that happiness is of the mind. Happiness is of the spirit. And happiness is an awareness of union. Happiness is when I am extending from my mind, from my spirit, to the mind and the spirit of another in acknowledgement of union. That is so. And so go ahead and remember that, acknowledge that. Oh, yeah. Happiness is in the mind and of the mind. And in this moment, I extend love from my mind to their mind in acknowledgement of the union we are in always. And then feel what that feels like. Feel what it feels like to do that with this person that you are experiencing fantasies of hostility and vengeance with. And breathe. Beautiful. Beautiful. And if you need to apologize to them in your mind for seeing them as a body, for your mistaken perception that you could get love from their body, then go ahead and extend also an apology to yourself. Beautiful. And just take note of how that feels. Beautiful. And take a breath. Beautiful practicing, mighty companions. Way to practice. That's what it's all about. Hearing what the Course is saying and then applying it to wherever we're experiencing a lack of peace in our relationships and in ourselves. I appreciate you so much. Appreciate you more than you know. I need you as much as you need me. And I appreciate you so much, and I can't wait to join minds with you again soon. All right. Thank you, and may the Course be with you.